Hi, I'm Louise from Swedish Development Forum. With me, I have Joy here. If you would like to present yourself.
Yeah, I'm Joy Ngozi Ezeilo, a Nigerian, a law professor, and the founder of the Women's National Women's Group called Women's Aid Collective WACOL, and then also Tama Sexual Assault Referral Center, what we call TAMASAC.
Thank you very much. So you've been active and huge activist for working against violence against women. In the case of Nigeria, where you're from, uh, and we were listening to this your seminar about how we have to break the culture of silence. But we were wondering as well, can Sweden or Swedish citizens maybe help in achieving these changes in Nigeria?
Yes, it's going to be collective effort, and then through the voices, especially from international community, we've achieved some success in the past. In the past also, we've been able to work with some Swedish organization more than 10 years ago, but I don't know why many of them don't work in Nigeria anymore because but it's important that people support efforts at local levels, especially in Africa and other developing countries. The issue of violence against women, gender-based violence or sexual and gender-based violence is highly prevalent, is very surreptitious, and it leads to cumulative breaches of human rights of women. And it ranges beyond wife battering to early and forced marriage to female circumcision to issues around the widowhood practices, denial of inheritance right to women and children is just huge, and it's not abating. And we don't have appropriate laws, adequate laws to be able to deal with this. And again, people are also shy, not just shy, they are afraid because of the stigmatization to talk about this. That's why we're emphasizing not only saying no to violence against women, but breaking the culture of silence so that people can speak out and talk about the violence they experience. And then we can also have a system that can support them. Because if you come out and then there is no supportive system, no services, no legal aid, no psychosocial support, no shelter, then it's another, the consequences will become too much again for the victims and survivors to take. That's why organizations like ours, WACOL, and the TAMASAC, Tama Sexual Assault Referral Center, we are open in order to provide these specialized services to women, to give them free legal aid, assistance, and then including financial aid for them to be able to fight for their right. Access to justice is very important on issue of violence against women. Otherwise, there is no consequences for the impunity and the egregious violations of women's rights. So we want people to stand up. We want to get men also to queue and support women. And like we said, women are your mothers, are your wives, they are your daughters, they are your aunties, they are your relatives as well. So you have to make sure we stamp out or eliminate or reduce violence. We've been talking about how can we reduce sexual and gender-based violence even by 50% because it's so huge and so prevalent. People are even taking it as a new normal. You know, people have internalized it, and for the women and girls affected, uh, it's not easy to come out and speak out about it because of the consequences that they may face, and no one will be there to face it with them. So we need support of international community. We need support from other countries, especially countries where the awareness is there is already zero tolerance. For example, in Sweden, and we don't have that. So without that kind of support, then how do we provide the services, legal aid, shelter? How do we create awareness in communities? How do we get people to train people, including journalists, to report on these cases? And because it's very important, how do we publish even international laws, for example, and say, oh, the United Nations said this is applicable to you, this is your right, you should have it as a woman. We need to make all of these things not only public, but also translate them in languages that people can follow. So that's why it's important that we get the support. And because of the economic situation, resources are dwindling, including for work on human rights, especially in Africa and Nigeria, where I come from. We just see a lot of good works. We can only do so much. We can only do so much because of limited resources, because we're operating in a scarce resource economy. And this also is lending, is exacerbating this phenomenon of violence against women and girls.
Thank you for a very, very good answer. I appreciate that you took your time to answer our question, and thank you for your all your work.